For the past 3 years, I've been running this YouTube channel along with my full-time job. It helps me change people's lives and even get some extra income from sponsorships and from some consultation gigs. So if I started the YouTube channel this year, I would use these exact 3 steps to do that. So if you watch till the end, you'll learn how to choose a niche or a topic for a YouTube channel, how to get more subscribers quickly, and what equipment to use. I also want to show you the biggest regrets that I have, just to make sure that you're gonna avoid the same mistakes. And step number 1, do the prep work. And the first step here is to choose your niche or the topic for your channel. And you might be wondering how exactly you should niche down, even if you're clear on the topic. For example, you want to talk about design, you are an expert in this field, you don't really know what to start with. So I see it this way. Think about this one topic that you can talk about non-stop, where you don't need hours of prep work. For example, to me was the topics of marketing career, things like how to create a marketing strategy, and I just felt like sharing my own experience with the rest of the world. Also, just check out your competition and just get a grasp of how popular your niche is, and there's plenty of ways you can do that. For example, just type your keyword on YouTube's search engine and you're gonna see this drop down, so it will definitely give you a list of similar topics. Also, check out the top videos that perform well on this topic. So just go to the search field, find the videos, and then sort them by the most popular, and see what kind of titles and topics perform the best when it comes to your subject. YouTube is the second biggest search engine these days. YouTube is bigger even than Netflix nowadays, so I've got no doubts that almost any niche has demand on YouTube these days, but it wouldn't hurt just to double check what kind of videos in general exist on your topic. Check out forums such as Quora or Reddit, sort by the hottest and most popular threads, and simply see what people ask for in relation to your topic. If you have a chance to invest in paid tools, I would say try out SEMrush and just see how your keyword performs, what kind of similar search queries, what people ask for, and in general, how difficult your keyword is. For example, the keywords such as email marketing is really hard to rank for these days, is extremely competitive, but maybe if you niche down a little bit on, copywriting for emails in general, that's where you've got more potential and less competition. Explore Google Trends and simply see the growth chart and the demand on your topic. Same way, just type your keyword on Google and see the drop down of similar search queries, and check out the so-called people also search for in Google, and that's the place to see similar search queries on your topic. You can also even type your keyword on TikTok, and this will immediately also give you a list of the most relevant and most popular search queries. That was also yet another confirmation for me that topics such as marketing interviews are super trending, and I just started creating my first batch of videos on them, and that's where my channel started growing. Now this is also a time to think about your ideal viewer, and I would say at this point you're just starting out, no need to spend hours on research on nailing your ideal persona. Think of just this one person and just envision him sitting in front of you. This is what I do. So instead of thinking of my camera lens that I'm looking at right now, I actually see my friend who was asking me questions on how I landed my first marketing role, what kind of courses I took, how to nail your marketing interview. And whenever I was creating my first videos, I was thinking exactly about this one friend. I always make screenshots of the emails, of some LinkedIn messages that I receive where people also ask questions when it comes to marketing career, marketing tips for businesses, and this helps me nail my ideal viewer even further. Part number 2, make your first 10 horrible videos. And this is an important disclaimer because your first 10 videos are gonna be cringy, horrible, they're just gonna be bad. You can always get back to them, you can hide them in the future, but at this point, you just gotta post this first 10 videos. And if you post just 1 or 2, you're not gonna be committed enough and it's gonna be just easy for you to give up. So I would say plan at least first 10 videos at this point. I'm not even talking about the subscriber growth at this point. We're getting to this point a bit later in this video. At this stage, it's important to plan the 3 key aspects: your title, your thumbnail, and the first 30 seconds of the video. And now let's take a look at each of these stages step by step. So, title. YouTube these days is an incredibly competitive platform, right? And think about it this way. Viewers land on their home YouTube screen and they see a bunch of similar videos to yours, so they need to have a clear reason why they would click on your video. That's why your title really needs to stand out a little bit. So check out how your competitors phrase their titles for a specific video that you're planning to create and shamelessly steal the ideas from them and just adapt to your niche. And here you don't even need to look at your direct competitors on YouTube. You can also check similar industries. For example, I do my videos on the topic of marketing, but then I often benchmark the folks who post on topics such as UX design or software development. For example, when I was working on this video on how I started my marketing career, this video is the most performing video or the best performing video on my channel right now. As you can see at the beginning, there was no growth essentially, and I just had a very generic title, something like how to become a digital marketer, something along these lines. However, I then saw that one girl who makes videos on the topic of UX design, she got this really catchy title on how I became a digital marketer at the age of, I think for her it was like at the age of 25 with no experience, self-taught. So I just adopted this title to my own video, and then as you can see, it clearly skyrocketed. Do spend this extra hour planning your thumbnail thoroughly. First of all, these days the so-called YouTube, the traditional thumbnails with the screaming faces like this, they definitely don't perform these days. I would say just use Canva, but please avoid the generic templates that they have because they just look too cheap. So I've installed the Pinterest extension on my Chrome, and I always bookmark the thumbnails that I really love, that somehow resonate with the topic of my channel. If you feel like you've got literally no design skills and you just don't want to spend time on this, I can assure that on any freelance platform such as Upwork, you can find a decent thumbnail designer and you can pay them less than $20 per one item. The third aspect to plan for your first batch of videos is thinking about the first 30 seconds, the intro, the hook of your video. So here's what you can do. Select the 3 best videos on the topic that you are going to be making your video on. Install the YouTube summary extension on your Chrome. Export the script of the video and then just copy paste the intros and try to analyze them yourself and see why exactly it works so well, whether it was some kind of intrigue that they used at the beginning, whether it was some kind of, special psychological hack or trigger that they used, and then utilize the same for your video. You can also put it in a new ChatGPT thread and insert the topic of your channel and ask ChatGPT to create 5 different intro versions for your video. Next one, plan the content calendar for your first 10 videos and make this non-negotiable. So at this point, you're just gonna commit to posting those 10 videos. And a lot of people are, in doubts about the topic of consistency. They say it doesn't really matter if you post once a week or once a month. My take on that is that at the very beginning, you just need to post at least 1 video per week. And this is what helped me grow my channel at the very beginning. Right now, for example, I'm not really posting regularly, and that's why my growth is kind of on a plateau level these days. But the key idea here is that with each and every video you create at the very beginning, you become at least 1% better. So when you make your first 10 videos, you'll have 10 lessons to learn from. And if you publish just once a month, you will only learn within the span of 1 year. However, if you post every week within the span of just 2 to 3 months, you can grow from 0 to at least a decent YouTube level. Now open your Google Calendar, carve out some time for scripting, for filming, and for editing. We all have busy lives, we all have full-time jobs, we got a life to socialize. So unless you actually dedicate some time slots in your calendar on this thing, you're never gonna make it work. Part number 3, analyze and grow. Only at this point you can start thinking about a bit more advanced equipment, but no need to worry about that at all. The most important thing is to have a somewhat decent light, and you can get it for like $20 on Amazon, and to get a good microphone. My best performing video on my channel, which has around 150k views as of now, was filmed on my iPhone. So no need to invest in an expensive camera. At this point, I spend around $2,000 on my equipment, and I can place all the recommendations in the comments below. But I just reinvested in my channel. So I got some money from sponsorships, from some consultation gigs that I used to run, and this let me invest a little bit further, but this is definitely not necessary at the very beginning, especially if you do the talking head educational YouTube channel. Now you might be definitely wondering how to grow your subscriber base, and of course I can assure you that the subscriber count doesn't mean anything. I got my first sponsorship request when I had 350 subscribers on my channel, so it was less than 500 subs. It's just yet another proof that as long as you niche down, as long as you hit the right audience, it doesn't really matter how many subs you have. But of course, we all want to be chasing that vanity metric. I get it. It's definitely important to get to your at least first 1,000 subs. So here's what you can do. First of all, make videos on a broader topic within your niche. For example, a day in the life of a marketer is a way broader topic compared to, for example, how to create a Facebook ad for a fashion brand. So I would say at the very beginning, try to simply share your own experiences. Same way as I did with my video on how I landed my first marketing role, or where I was showing a behind the scenes of my life as a marketer. Now, this number one regret, and perhaps the only one that I have, is not having checked YouTube analytics and not making conclusions based on that. So definitely allocate at least one day per month where you're going to be digging deeper into your analytics. Again, at this point, there is no need to check all possible metrics. YouTube's analytics is quite diverse, but at this point, I would say check out these two things. First of all, check how your thumbnails perform. So check the CTR of your videos. So if they have more than 4%, then it means you're doing somewhat okay. If it's below 4%, then you're on the wrong path, and try to analyze what you can improve in your thumbnails to make sure they click on your videos more next time. For example, this video on how I became a digital marketer has the CTR of more than 6%, which is relatively good. Usually top YouTubers reach the CTR of more than 10% here. But for example, this one on an email marketing strategy, it has the CTR of less than 3%, and this video hasn't really performed that well. Another thing to take a look is the average retention. For example, in this video on 5 reasons not to become a digital marketer, I think I somewhat nailed the retention because people watched on average almost half of the video, which is quite good for an educational channel. And as you can see, the retention curve is, I would say, quite stable. There isn't a sharp drop. So I made sure to make a note on what exactly I did in the intro of this video, and whenever I created a brief for my video editor for a similar topic, I made sure to use that as a reference. And if you want to see how to create a content calendar for your personal brand, for your business, check out this very next video on my channel.